Good morning, folks. This is Rosie at Always Rosie's Life. I took off yesterday afternoon with my sister and we went to see a movie, which is a lovely thing to do when you're not tied down to a 9 to 5 job, is to look into the matinees. Look into the matinees and watch a movie. I wanted to talk about something that I read this morning in the news, the Vermont news. The woman in my area had been scammed out of her entire life savings of almost $1 million and lost everything. It was wiped out of her accounts and she had to start all over again. She spent, I don't remember how many years, scraping by on Social Security and help from others. She did everything that she could to cut corners. She would unplug all of her heat generating small appliances from the wall in order to avoid trickle and save on her electric bill. I'm sure in the winter she had everything down to the bottom as far as she could go, and then covered up with blankets and sweaters and so forth. And she made it through. And she checked her bank account every single day to make sure she wasn't being scammed again while they were trying to sort through this thing. Well, recently she went to her bank account and the money had been replaced. And I don't know what the details are as far as how that happened or who was involved in it to replace that money, but it was all replaced. But looking at that, I keep thinking, that can be all of us. It can be any of us. In any situation where you depend on a certain amount of money and it's gone for whatever reason, and you have to be ready to pivot. Over the years, I've really been good at pivoting and resilience and finding ways to get through. The most recent being my business dissolving in 2023. And after a day of shell shock, figuring out what I was going to do from there. And like this lady, it's taken a couple years, and I'm not quite there yet, but I will be. It's on its way. You can always find a way to make things work. And I'm trying to find a place where here. You can always find a way to make things work. Sometimes it's not a single thing. Sometimes it's not just you. You might have to ask for help from friends, from family, from state support, federal support. And that's all okay to do. I think that's my message, is it's all okay to ask. It's just as sacred to ask for help as it is to give help. I discovered that years and years ago when I was diagnosed with cancer. And I was dealing with it alone and going through a divorce at the same time. And it was really hard for me to ask for help. Really hard. I was used to doing things on my own, figuring out ways to get through or over or under situations. In that situation, even though I carried it alone, I had to realize that all around me were friends and family who really wanted to help, who really loved me and wanted to see me be able to get through this in the best way possible. And that's when I realized that asking is just as sacred. And what I mean by that is when you ask someone for help, you give them something at the same time. You give them a way to serve others. And we all, I think, survive on that as well as receiving. We want to help each other. And many people, especially older folks, don't know how to help anybody. They think they're too old to help or to serve. And that's not true. Sometimes just calling a person who's in a bad place and saying, hey, I'm here to talk, or, I'm here if you need a meal made. So many ways that an older person can help. So remember that if you're in a space of crisis, don't hesitate to call out for help. There's an old folk story about how the sky fell apart. The sky developed big tears in it. And one grandmother saw the problem and realized that if she didn't do something real quickly, the sky was going to fall. So she started weaving one of the torn places, but it was tearing faster than she could weave. So she called out, she hooped and hollered, and she called out to her sisters, the other grandmothers from all over the planet, and called out for help. All the grandmothers answered, and they brought their own threads and needles and knitting needles and yarn and whatever they could use to fix the sky, to mend it. They all got together and they mended the big tears that were falling, or that were starting to appear in this sky. And they all mended as a team faster than the tears could appear until they mended a sky, and it became a new sky with new colors and new direction and a feeling of love that was woven into it. And that's what I'm talking about. Is there are many grandmothers out there, as well as other generations, but the grandmothers and the grandfathers are powerful on their own and as a team. Make sure you reach out if you have a problem, no matter how small. Reach out to someone who cares about you and can help you. And the same with on the other end. Be there for someone in whatever capacity you can offer. If that's just a loving phone call or a text message or an email or a meal. Be the grandmother to the world. That's what we need right now. We need more grandmothers and grandfathers. I am going to head home because you know what? It is chilly out here. So I'm going to head back. But you have an amazing day. Don't forget to paint wild. And I will talk to you soon. Take care.